Welcome home, students. This is part 2 for 7th grade. We are looking at metric units of measurement and converting them. Conversions in the metric system. All right, so let's get started. All right, so our basic unit of metric distance. Take a minute and I want you to take some notes. Okay, we're going to start with the basic unit of distance is the meter. And if you think of like a meter stick, it's close to a yardstick. It's about the width of a sidewalk. So let's look at some. Okay, our decimeter. Okay, this is 1/10 of a meter. So it's about the length of a pen. You can just abbreviate and just write pen, sidewalk, width sidewalk. Centimeter, that's what we see on our rulers. It's less than an inch. It's centi means 1/100th. Deci means 1/10. So it's about the thickness of your pinky finger. And millimeter, those are the smallest units on your ruler, not on the customary side, on the metric side, the two little lines right next to each other, that's 1,000. Milli means 1,000th. Okay, and that's about the thickness of a dime. Now let's go for decameter. That's like a meter times 10. And notice the way that these are abbreviated. That's very important that you are writing down those abbreviations. Here comes my cat. She's probably going to step on my computer and start. Sorry about that. So a decameter, it's about 10 sidewalks, so about the length of your classroom. And then we have a hectometer. Hectometer, that's about 100 meters. Okay, 100 meters, and that's the length of your school campus. And then we've got the kilometer. This is what, and remember, like, if you're driving on the road in any other country other than the U.S., you will see how many, 15 kilometers to the next exit. A kilometer is 6/10 of a mile. 6/10 of a mile. So it's a little more, if you think about like our freeway off-ramps, where you go like Nordoff to Devonshire or Balboa to White Oak, it's about a little bit more than halfway between those exits. All right, so pause the recording if you want to write these notes. All right, so which metric unit? I want you to take a minute and decide which metric unit, millimeter, centimeter. Remember, a millimeter is like a dime, a centimeter is like your pinky, a meter is like a yardstick or the width of a sidewalk, and kilometer is about half a mile, a little more than half a mile, would be most suited to measure a limousine. Remember, we want to use something that's smaller than that size. So take a minute. Meter, yes. Okay. Take a minute, the distance to the nearest post office. Write down your answer. Now let's check it. Hopefully you wrote kilometer. Okay, the height of a person. I think that meters are going to be too small because if I took a meter stick, I'd be like 2 meters. It's too hard to differentiate, so we're probably going to have to go down to centimeters or decimeters. Yeah, I think usually they measure people in centimeters. Even 10 is too many. The diameter of a penny. I would say a millimeter. Would be too hard if it's a little more or less than a centimeter. So the diameter of a penny would be much better suited to just use those little lines on the ruler. The width of your footprint. I think I would say centimeters. And last but not least, the thickness of a glass mirror. I would definitely say millimeters. So it's not often that we're using decameters, So, or decimeters. Okay. Now, let's look at our metric conversion. So when we're going from 32.5 meters to kilometers, I want you to remember this sentence. And that is, King Henry died Monday drinking chocolate milk. King Henry died Monday drinking chocolate milk. Yes, that's true. No, not really. Anyways, King Henry died Monday drinking chocolate milk. We're going to use that as the acronym. K standing for kilometer, H standing for hectometer, D standing for decameter, M standing for meters, that's your basic unit, D standing for decimeter, and C standing for centimeter, and M standing for millimeter. So King Henry, we're really just using these first letters, right? K, H, to remind us. Okay, what to use. So notice I'm doing kilometer, hectometer, decameter, meter, decimeter, centimeter, millimeter. Okay, so again, we're going to do the same thing we did in the last video. And that, well, actually, no, this is like a little bit easier, I think. We don't even need to multiply by 1 because if we're starting here, okay, I'm going to write the original problem down, 32.5, and we're starting at meters, and we're going, I want you to figure out how many jumps to get to kilometers. And now notice, if this is where I'm starting, I'm moving to the left 1, 2, 3 times. 3 times. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move my decimal point 3 times in that same direction. Okay? 1, 2, 3. And in that extra space, I'm going to add a 0. And we always have a lead 0, so my new answer is going to be 0 and 325. It goes tenths, thousandths, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000. So it's 325 10,000ths. We say that as, just say the number, 325, and then the space. Remember, it's tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So it's 325 10,000ths. 0, we read the decimal as and, 0 and 325 10,000ths. And it's kilometers. Okay? So 0 and 325 10,000ths kilometers. Super easy, these. As long as you remember, King Henry died Monday drinking chocolate milk. Okay? So let's try another. Why don't you pause the recording and try the next one on your own? All right, let's check our work. Now notice, I'm going from kilometers, that's my starting point, and I have to go to centimeters. So I have to jump once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm adding zeros the rest of the way. So now I'm going to rewrite that 4, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And I always use my commas because it's easier to read. 490,000 centimeters. Okay? King Henry died Monday drinking chocolate milk. Okay? So, we're going to do that. Let's make our list. King Henry, HM, died, DAM, Monday, meters, drinking, decimeters, chocolate, centimeters, and then we have milk, millimeters. Okay, so as we go from 6 1/100th meters, we're going to millimeters. I'm moving it once, twice, 3 times. 6.01 or 6 1/100th, and I'm going once, twice, add one more 0. 6010, 6,010 millimeters. Okay? This time, we are starting at 1400ths kilometers, and we are going to meters. So I have to go 1, 2, 3. So I start at 0 and 1400ths, and I move once, twice, 3 times, add the 0. That's where my new decimal is. It's 140 meters. All right, I'd like you to pause the PowerPoint, and I want you to finish 3 through 10. Go. All right, let's check our work. Okay, so notice we're going from 8 centimeters to meters. I have to move 2 times to the left, so it's going to be 800ths meters. Number 4, I'm going kilometers to decimeters. I'm moving 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, so it becomes 300 decimeters. Number 5, you should have gotten 2300 decameters. Deca, that's why. Number 6 is 9 500ths decameters. Number 7 is 180 hectometers. Number 8 is 340 millimeters. Number 9 is 1700 centimeters. Now, I want you to just be careful here. It's not that different, even though they wrote it. We're still starting at 17 meters. So notice, to get to centimeters, if I'm starting at centimeters, I'm still moving once, twice to the right. I start on 17. My decimal is naturally to the right. It's always naturally to the right if there's no decimal there. And I have to go, if I'm going to centimeters, once, twice to the right, once, twice. That's why we have 1700 centimeters. So be careful there. They set that up a little bit different. Okay, let's try number 10. I'm going from 21.6 kilometers to meters. I'm going once, twice, 3 times. 3 times to the right. 21 6/10. Once, twice, 3 times. Add zeros. I get 21,600 meters. Just double check Mamasaki because, yep, right there. All right. So, now, the same thing, just like when we measure distance, we're using meters, centimeters. Everything is based on the meter. That is our main unit of measurement. Okay, so this is when we are measuring distance. Okay, we use kilometers, hectometers, decameters. Everything's meters. Okay. When we go to weight, the main unit is grams. Weight. So the weight of a paperclip. So a decimeter is 1/10 of a paperclip. Okay, 1/10 of a gram. Centigram is 100th of a gram, and milligram is like barely, just a drop of something. Okay, 1,000th of a gram. And the same thing would go, deca is times 10 grams. Hecto is 100 grams. We rarely use the deca, the hecto, the decigram when we're using units of measurement. We usually use grams, centigrams, milligrams, kilograms, okay? And then a kilo is, and notice that each time now, as we're doing this, here comes my cat again, sorry guys, it's trying to lay on the computer. Notice that before it was here, it was an M when we were doing distance, but now because it's grams, or gram is the, right? So it's the same music. Same. Sorry, here we go. Sorry, cat got me. Oh dear. I'm not sure what happened there. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, so here we go. So kilograms is 1,000 grams. We've got, when we're talking about volume, especially like liquid volume, think about like those big soda bottles. They call them a liter. That's a liter. Right, those big soda bottles. A deciliter is 1/10 of a liter. A centiliter is 100th of a liter. A milliliter is 1,000th of a liter, right? And then we've got a deciliter is 10 liters. Hectoliter is 100. And kiloliter is 1,000. Okay? So when we're using the metric system, everything's based on the gram, the liter, or the meter. Meter is distance. Gram is weight, dry weight. Liquid weight, volume, is in liters. Okay? So here we go. We're doing the same thing. In fact, I'm going to start with kilogram, hectogram. Remember, we're at King Henry died, decagram. Monday, meters. Drinking, decimeter. Chocolate, centimeter. Milk, millimeters. And now, if I'm doing the same thing for grams, right, it's going to be DAG, DG, CG, MGs, HG, and KG. Maybe they can do it a little bit better. Let's see. Yeah. So we've got basically, sorry. All right, so let's get started. Let's try it. We're going from the DG. Let's just do that. DG, CG, MG, DAG, HG, KG, and then we've got liters. K, L, H, L, D, A, L, D, capital L, C, capital L, M, capital L. Now, we're going from decigrams to grams. So I'm just moving my decimal. Notice, where's the decimal naturally if it's not written? It's always to the right. And I'm going from here to here. Okay, so I'm just moving it one that way. So it would be 3 4/10 grams. Okay, 3 4/10 grams. Okay, this time I'm going from 7 liters right here, and we're moving to kiloliters. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So I'm starting with my 7, and I'm moving 1, 2, 3, added zeros in that extra place. And we also start always with a leading 0. So 7 thousandths kiloliters. Number 3, we're starting at milliliters. We have 630, and I'm moving 1, 2, 3 down to the liter. 3 to the left. 630, 1, 2, 3. And so I get 0 and 63. I don't really need that ending 0 liters. All right, I'd like you to pause it and you try the next few. Oops. All right, let's check our work. Number 4 should have been 910,000 centigrams. Number 5 should have been 16 thousandths meters. Number 6 should have been 38 tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10 thousandths, 100 thousandths. So 38 hundred thousandths kilograms. Number 7 should have been 54 hundredths decaliters. Number 8 should have been 60 milliliters. Number 9 is 432 centigrams. And number 10 is tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So we just say the number. 537 10,000ths kiloliters. All right. Doing the same thing. You can just do your King Henry died Monday drinking chocolate milk. So kilometers, hectometers, decameters, right? And we're just going right? We're starting with our 500, and we're going from centimeters to meters. So I'm going to do a quick sketch of it. King Henry, I know it's not past here, decameters. Oh, the HM here. We don't need that, sorry. HM, DAM, died Monday drinking chocolate milk. There we go. 500 centimeters. I'm starting at centimeters and I'm moving over to meters. 1, 2, 500. And my decimal's naturally to the right, and so I'm going to end up with 5 centimeters. Sorry, 5 meters. Oops, I'm going to meters. I started with 500 centimeters, so super easy. Metric conversions. Another way that we can do that is we can do the same thing we were doing earlier, and we could use our fancy ones. So 1 meter is to 100 centimeters. And so if I'm doing it that way, then remember, our centimeters are going to cross cancel. And then I'm left with 500. Notice it's 500 over 1. So we end up with 500 over 100. I'm left with the unit of meters. And notice I can divide both top and bottom by 100, and I'm left with 5 meters. So here's just using our dimensional analysis. I kind of tend to just get those, when I'm just doing straight metric system, I guess I could do either. 1 meter is equal to 100. So if we're doing 2 kilometers, why don't you pause, and let's see if you can do this one. Try using the dimensional analysis. All right, let's check our work. We're going to do 2 km over 1. I'm creating that fraction, right? I'm creating the fraction. Now, I don't need to necessarily I can do, go straight to, I wouldn't go straight from kilometers to centimeters. I might go from kilometers to meters, okay? I hope they're doing that because that's what I would do. I'm going to multiply, so 1 meter equals 1,000 kilometers, right? 1 meter equals 1,000 kilometers. And then I'm going to put kilometers in the denominator, or 1 kilometer, sorry, equals 1,000 meters. I went backwards. It wouldn't be, remember, kilometer is the biggest unit, so 1 kilometer is to 1,000 meters. And then we're going to be multiplying. Now I can cross-cancel my kilometers. So now I got to get from meters to centimeters. So 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So meters is going to be in the denominator and centimeters is going to be in the numerator. And now you'll notice we can cross-cancel our kilometers. I'm finally at the place where I want to be at centimeters. I'm going to cross-cancel my meters. And now we are left at 100 times 1,000 times 2, which is 200,000 centimeters. All right, pause it if you'd like to take some more notes. All right, last possible question. This is where we go from the metric system to the customary system, or the standard that we use here in the U.S., the only country in the world that's using the customary system. So they give you the conversion factor. They're giving this to you, so don't worry about it. That's your fancy one. So we're going to start with 200 meters, right? Starting with 200 meters, and we can multiply right away from meters to inches times, as I make my next fraction, right? I'm going to put my meters down here. 1 meter is to 39 and 37/100 inches, right? Okay, I can cross cancel. I'm multiplying 200 times 39 and 37/100. And what do you know? We've now gone from the metric system. So they'll usually give you a conversion factor. I think I usually use the 1 inch is, I think it's 2 and 5400 centimeters. So, anyways, they'll usually give that to you. And yeah, it's 1 inch is to 254 hundredths. It's 1 inch equals. So either they're going to give you this, and we turn that into this fancy fraction of 1. We're using the identity property. You can use 1 inch. Oops, that should have been n. Is equal to 254 centimeters. So that's another one. That's usually the one I have memorized. I don't usually have this. But all you need is 1 to get you in from one system to the next. And that, my friends, is conversions. Have a great day.